The playoffs continue for the 2019 3WideRacing League YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour. It's the third of 6 rounds in the 2019 playoff field, and we head now to COTA, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, a 20-turn road course that is challenging, it's long, it's technical, and we're going to race it with some stock trucks here tonight for the third round of the playoffs. Hello, my name's Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finian DeCuna from SimTV and Finian COTA. Great racetrack, built for Formula One, but tonight we race trucks.
Yeah, I was going to say, racing stock cars around here, which definitely I think should come here in real life. I think it's a missed opportunity that they don't. Hopefully they can, because this is a pretty fun track. These guys had a pretty good race here last year at COTA in the truck series when we covered that. So here they are yet again as you watch Drew Eisenman tackle on this track.
So tonight the field size is not enormous this evening. We have 14 trucks taking the start tonight. Most of the drivers, playoff drivers, as we head into tonight, and of course the points figures don't really matter all that much because the only two drivers you really need to be concerned about are Matt Gruenberg and Chad Frankenfield. Of course, Matt Gruenberg leading by 30 points walking into the night. That 54 truck. Last time we were here, didn't actually run all that well here at COTA. Ran decently, but tonight he's currently sitting on provisional pole, and this shouldn't be a too difficult one for him as he's got 6/10 on Chad Frankenfield. But I think the field counts have dropped off tonight, so we're probably going to treat this a little bit more podcasty than we normally do, because we expect the field to kind of spread out a little bit. So just hang tight for us tonight. Going to be a fun one, at least to listen to, hopefully to watch a little bit as well. So Gruenberg working his way through the S's. A couple of drivers on the racetrack right now. Drew Eisenman, we'll see if he continues for maybe, this looks like qualifying is going to end right there. But Matt Gruenberg on pole, Frankenfield, Eisenman, Lytle, and Darbyshire, your top 5, as we head down to the racetrack to grid them up and go racing for 1 hour tonight, Finian. 60 minutes of racing, not done by laps tonight. It's done by time. Yeah, and tonight, 60 minutes on the board.
Yeah, that's giving us an estimation of about 27 laps for these guys to talk around this track, which is about, I think, about half the length of a Grand Prix. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. It's about half the length of a Grand Prix.
Yeah, pretty much exactly, being an hour long. Let's take a look at our track conditions tonight. 129 degrees on the racetrack. That is hot, Finian. So lap times are going to be all over the place as drivers try to find grip on this 20-turn road course. You look down the top of your screen, very top. That is the hairpin down there, one of the great passing zones. On the bottom left, from that is another hairpin, another great passing zone. There's passing zones left and right, and while they may not be great for a Formula One passing opportunity in certain sections, it's great for a truck passing opportunity, and you can use those fenders, you can use those doors to make your way by in a playoff situation. So for Matt Gruenberg, he can't possibly lose the lead of the points this evening, but he can certainly lose a pretty sizable chunk if things go wrong. So what are his goals tonight? Is his goal just to finish, or is he going to go out here and just win?
I think honestly the goal for him for tonight should probably be to finish in the top 5, which again with the relatively low car count should be pretty easy to pull off. So I think that should be definitely within the realm of possibility for him, especially because he's run pretty solid at road courses, and I think this tonight should be pretty much no different for the 54. But yeah, he's got a completely solid lead, and especially considering the fact that there's no points reset in the truck series for the chase format in these last 4 races that you have yet to cover. I think as long as he just gets a solid finish tonight, he's good and steady. Frankenfield, on the other hand, he pretty much has to go and outright win this race.
So, as we head down for the green flag here shortly, this is about a 27-lap race. Now, talk to me about the corners at this racetrack and which ones you expect to be the most challenging tonight.
This one. pretty much this is probably going to be one of the biggest corners as far as guys making passes down to a turn, especially on the opening lap as well, is going to be very chaotic as these trucks not entirely designed for hairpins, and even the SS section as we go through the next section, this is also pretty hard. Fairly easy in an open wheel car or any car that has a significant amount of downforce, but for these guys, they have not a whole lot of that, and if you go offline, it could be pretty treacherous and pretty hard to get back on the racing line.
Now, the arena section, you look from high above, this is the section really on the top side of the screen that the cars are actually rolling through right now. This is a very challenging section of the course. You have to change a lot of directions very, very quickly. And these 3,500-pound trucks don't change direction very well. So they're going to be sliding the rear end trying to get this truck to grip.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing, too, because they're going to be around in first, second gear, mostly first, just trying to get these trucks back up to speed. So you're going to be sliding them quite a bit, and you're going to wear out your tires. So you want to make sure you manage those for tonight's race and don't get too squirrely.
And I'm hoping and praying. Are we about to get this working?
Hey,
Hey, here we go. Up from the sky, Matt Gruenberg on pole tonight. The 15 of Chad Frankenfield is right alongside, and behind the grandstands they go. I really wish we had point-to-point cameras. They would look awesome. We're going to stick with this and just see what happens here. Well,
yep, there's a stage.
Crown Royal. Brought to you by Crown Royal tonight. And Matt Gruenberg on pole tonight. He leads the points by 30 again. Really, this is just a race where he can pad his points lead or lose a chunk as we head to the final 3 races of the season next week and beyond. His foe on the outside, the 15 of Chad Frankenfield, they're fighting in both this series and the Cup Series tomorrow night, which races at the Paperclip tomorrow evening. Finally said that word correctly. As Matt Gruenberg rolls through the final corner, coming to the green flag, 60 minutes of racing. Green flag flies, we're racing in Austin.
Great start for Chad Frankenfield and also Matt Gruenberg are both going to race side by side. Even Tate Lytle down there in third as they all race up to the hairpin for the first time.
Yeah, really good start for the 15 on the outside as they enter turn 1. Gruenberg has to jump off the throttle, and they're going to still be side by side as they make their way down towards turn number 2. How much will they race side by side? They won't. The 15 has to back out. Eisenman falls to third now.
Yeah, through the S's here they come.
Side by side with the 56, a little bit offline, jumps the curb there as they go through the S's.
Yeah, that could have been really dangerous for the 56. Could have broke something there, but it looks like he's fine for now. You see the 66 Ausin Darbyshire in 6th, fighting Jeffrey Fisher in the 44 in the 42 for 5th.
So Frankenfield lost ground to Gruenberg. He almost had the lead in that first section, but had to give it up to fall back in line. Everyone else trying to single file themselves out, just trying to get comfortable the first couple laps, Finian. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of drivers out here that are comfortable. This is a challenging course.
No.
There goes Zielinski. And into the wall he goes.
Yeah, it's already going to put him on the back foot on lap number 1. Heavy damage to the nose of his car.
Yeah, that's going to be a long night for him. Tate Lytle in the 56 down the straightaway now. He's got in the 42 tucked up behind him. That's Jeffrey Fisher in that machine.
Trying to get some sort of draft off the 56 as he heads off down into a heavy braking zone on the straightaway, one of the longest straightaway on the track. There you see him deep on the brakes to the inside.
Whoa, maybe a touch there. There is. The 42 runs him out over the edge of the curb, and 56 will pick up some damage, as will the 42. But, Robert Hill Jr. in the 38, he's gone for a loop. And a new livery on board that car this week. Tate Lytle and the 42 of Jeff Fisher and Cody McCorkle, along with Ausin Darbyshire, all tucked up in a battle for what will be 4th place. And off tracks abound here this week, Finney. You're going to use every inch that you can.
Yeah, you're going to use all that you can. You see these guys come through the carousel.
Riding that curb on the inside, no surprises there.
Actually, I didn't realize you could do that. Or I guess they're just running through there with no danger of a slowdown.
So Matt Gruenberg is going to lead the first lap, but I think that 15 of Frankenfield is going to put some pressure on him as they come through. Behind him, Fisher running out way wide. It looks like a global MX-5 race right now as they run off the
DRS sign while he was out there is going to get in behind Tate Lytle as they try to sort out. It looks like the top 3's pulling away, and here comes a move from Darbyshire looking to be outside of Fisher.
Yeah, that's an interesting line into the corner, but maybe he'll try to cross over on corner exit. There goes Lytle way off the course in turn number 1. He pops back into frame finally.
These top 3 have been, the 4th, 5th, and 6th have been just going at it, and they've been trading quite a few positions.
Through the S's once again. Lytle jumped the curb last time. He'll miss it this time. They file back in line. The 66 of Darbyshire qualified quite well tonight. We'll see if he can finish just as well. Brakes going to be hot at the end of the evening. You're going to be pushing your equipment extremely hard. Robert Hill Jr. already pushed it too hard and fell down a couple spots in that brand new liveried 38 car tucked in behind Jonathan Cogswell for now.
He's stuck in behind the 27 of Cogswell trying to get on past him and get up to where he was running. It's unfortunate to push him back by a few spots. You see Cogswell go offline and Hill's going to take the spot.
I don't know if Cogswell missed the corner if he just let him on by, but I can tell you Matt Gruenberg has set a pace and pulling away now from Frankenfield, a 1.5 second gap. Lytle and Darbyshire, these guys are going at it hard right now. Dave Hunt in the 53 has gone for a bit of a loop. See how this one, I'm going to go back a little farther here. This is really exiting the S's here as you crest the hill. You're going to unload all the truck's weight and just a little bit too much for the 53. Lytle, Darbyshire, McCorkle, 5th, 6th, and 7th as they work their way through the stadium section now. And you have to be so patient I really want to know the incident counts of these drivers at the end of the night.
It's going to be quite a few, and I think you almost have to have a lot of off tracks here.
A bit of a slide for the 12. Trying to get that truck to grip up. Oh, and there he goes. Loops it around and into the fence in the carousel. He was really struggling with rear grip. Again, the track is extremely hot. Right in front of Richard Hinds, and Hinds will slip on by. There goes Marquis Smith in the 63. The drama here early for a couple drivers, but they'll get it righted. There's a lot of runoff here, Finney. That's the beauty of it being an FIA Grade 1 racetrack, is that it's extremely safe. And by safe, I mean it's got a lot of runoff. It's hard to hit stuff here. And unfortunately for Levi Zielinski, he already hit pretty hard, at least in the second sector there.
He will now try to catch back up to Frankenfield. Lost quite a bit of time and is falling closer to the clutches of Drew Eisenman. Pretty much his entire top three is broken away from the rest of the pack there. 3 seconds clear. Jeffrey Fisher, Tate Lytle, and Ausin Darbyshire.
You're threading the needle between these curbs here, and typically you want to avoid those curbs. And in this trucks, I would think that you still do, because the suspensions are so soft, you'll bounce off those things for ages. So you got to be tiptoeing through this section and really be careful and really mean it when you go to flip those curbs. Levi Zielinski heads down pit lane, not at the start of the night he wanted in that 6 car.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to call it a night here with the damage he has.
Oh, McCorkle!
Oh, that's a dangerous spot to be turned around.
In the S's. Let's go back and see how this happened. Here it is. He's already loose. He's been struggling with rear grip since the start of the race. And is he going to clip a curb potentially? He just throws it in there and woo, he went for a slide.
Yeah, and goes over the curb there.
And look at everyone trying to miss him. They did a good job. That was Robert Hill Jr. and I believe that was Corey Lindsay.
Yeah, and really this track with the stock cars, you really got to be pretty slow on a lot of these corners. You don't want to be charging them because that's just going to burn up your stuff and also have a potential of spinning out. You want to be very slow through the corners and focus on your corner exits.
There was some fender damage for the 12. He might have gotten that from some contact. Also might have gotten it from kind of sliding over the curb as he spun around, that yellow anti-cut curb there. Tate Lytle in the 56. He's got a ton of damage on the nose of his truck from being aggressive early and trying to catch Jeffrey Fisher. Jeffrey Fisher is performing quite well so far tonight. I really wouldn't have put him in the drivers that would have excelled at the road courses. You see him slide there on corner exit, but he started 6th. He's up 2 spots into 4th place.
We'll see if he can continue further up the order. Although it's going to be a pretty tall climb for him. He's got Drew Eisenman. You can see Eisenman going through the second to last corner there, up ahead. That's the next group he should be setting his eyes to catch. Yeah,
Eisenman is one of the drivers I would have expected to be in the hunt to win a race tonight. Of course, with Matt Gruenberg in the field, you're never guaranteed a victory, Finney, and that guy is so good, and he's probably going to end up extending his points lead tonight almost no matter what, unless Frankenfield goes out there and wins the race. So look at how much Chad's gained, though. He's lost all on corner exit. He charged the corner and made a big mistake there. So 8 minutes into this race, so we've had a couple drivers slip and slide as now the leaders make their way through the S's again. There is Drew Eisenman sitting in 3rd. And maybe patience is what he needs to focus on tonight and just be slow and methodical. Maybe chase these guys down once they start burning up their stuff.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big key is because, these guys are pretty much only going to have to make one stop if I'm not mistaken. So that's 30 minutes that you're running here, which might not seem like a lot of time, but going around here, it's quite a lot on the tires. Through a lot of these corners, especially with these guys slowing down hard on the brakes and then getting back on throttle, spinning their tires at times. So it's putting a lot of wear on these tires, and if you're not careful with it, you can easily wear them out and be significantly slower at the end of a run.
Looks like Levi Zielinski has pulled off the racetrack. That might be a DNF for him tonight. Gonna hurt him in the playoff picture.
He's not in this championship. Oh, he is?
He's listed as a playoff driver. He's lit up in blue.
Oh yeah, he is, but he's back in 12th.
Yes,
it's already
currently last in the playoffs. So not really a great season for him in general, let alone be the playoffs. So Jeffrey Fisher, Tate Lytle. This battle calmed down for a little while, but I'm watching Tate Lytle's the inside of his wheel well there. Those brake rotors already glowing. This is the 1-year anniversary of the brake rotors comment there, Finian.
I was thinking about that as we went green.
But Tate Lytle maybe pushing his equipment quite a bit. But he is making up ground on Jeffrey Fisher right now.
Yeah, you can see him taking a much more conservative exit to the 42 out of the hairpin down to the carousel they go. But definitely keeping tabs on that 42's not let him out of his sights. Should be able to overtake him.
Corey Lindsay was really slow through one of the hairpins. Like, I mean, overly slow. I'm not sure if he had an issue or if he ran wide or what, but this is
overshot it.
Heading down. You see the brake rotors glowing inside that car. Just missed the corner entirely.
Yeah.
And locked up big time. And there, whoa, behind him, that was McCorkle running out wide over the edge of the track limits as well. So, track limits not being enforced tonight. You can't cut corners, obviously, because you get the iRacing penalty, but you are welcome to run as wide as you would like. And I think drivers will use that to their advantage tonight. We'll ride on board Corey Lindsay and watch everyone else take turn 19 quite wide. They're having to go real slow here to make these corners.
I think Lindsay's being a little bit more conservative.
I think you have to be.
Than some of these other drivers.
Well,
here's Frankenfield all over Matt Gruenberg.
Yeah,
now.
he's putting up a fight, I would say. I mean, he's really been keeping Gruenberg honest, and I think the fear is that Matt will beat up his stuff and that Frankenfield Meisenmill will chase him down.
Yeah, well, Gruenberg had a pretty slow lap, 218.2 to Chad Frankenfield's 217.8.
And Matt Gruenberg's best lap is almost a half a second quicker, but the quickest lap of the race actually belongs to Drew Eisenman in third. So I bet you that 77's got, ooh, big lock up there into the hairpin for the 54. I bet you the 77's got something coming for these guys as well. Almost 3 seconds back from the leaders. But there is a risk that these guys will run into each other as well.
No, I was looking at Richard Hinds.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what
Smith.
you were pointing at. I thought someone spun out. But Richard Hinds in the 2 car. Oh, lock up into the braking zone. He's going to slip out wide. Here comes Marquis Smith to the inside. Remember, Marquis Smith ran quite well at the Sonoma Rallycross course about a month ago. So maybe not a road course ace, but certainly having a decent run so far. Hasn't run into anything or anyone yet.
Well, these guys are pretty far back from the leaders already. 26 seconds back from Matt Gruenberg on lap 5. Yeah,
last year was very similar in that regard. We had pretty large gaps between the eventual winner of that race. I don't actually remember who won that race last year. Finian's going to go do some research for me as we jump back up towards the front. Matt Gruenberg trying to extend his lead on Chad Frankenfield, but unable to shake him. I think, from what I know about these drivers, Frankenfield runs quite a bit of road stuff as well as oval. And that's not saying Matt Gruenberg doesn't run road, but I think Chad is a bit more on the road-heavy side.
It's Peter Short.
Oh, that's right. Peter Short
Gruenberg finished third here last week.
Whatever happened to Peter Short?
He
ran some scarf stuff for a while, then he disappeared.
Why he said he had a reason. There was a reason. I think he was. I think it was real life related.
I see
that he didn't run this season, which is unfortunate because he was a really good driver.
Matt Gruenberg still leads the way. Frankenfield trying to close. These two have just been tit for tat all year long. They've just been nose to tail, winning races left and right, and not only the Truck Series but also the Cup Series. So they're first and second in both those championships, or at least they were until recently. And I think the pressure is beginning to mount for that 54. On the Cup Series side of things, as he walks into Talladega, or walks into Martinsville, sorry, tomorrow night, with a little bit of work to do for the 54 camp. See the left front tire actually get air there over the top of the crest. Oh, Matt Gruenberg mistake. Entering the corner, Frankenfield is able to close, but he can't quite get the power down on exit.
Yeah, he couldn't swing out on exit because Gruenberg's truck was there.
There's another look at it as they came down into the braking zone. And just locked it up. You see him correct the wheel. Did a good job holding onto it, though. Really easy to loop a truck if you do something wrong in that area. Tate Lytle, Jeffrey Fisher, they've swapped spots for fourth, and Fisher now trying to mount the charge back on the 56. I just don't know if he's got quite the pace just yet. So here's a fun fact. If we take a look at the best laps of the race, there's only 7 drivers, so half the field has not even made a lap without an incident point yet.
Yeah, honestly, I would probably be on that list too. I mean, there's no reason to really not get an incident point. It's not kept track of. See Lytle go casually off the track
and we'll continue that trend this lap, it looks like. But yeah, I mean, there is time to be gained if you don't run, or if you run wide, and I think it'd be silly not to do that. I think a lot of drivers will probably keep themselves to the limits just to be a good boy, but you don't have to be. And I think towards the end of the race, we might see drivers start to get a bit more experimental. You see Fisher close in again on Lytle. The bobble there on entry for Fisher, and Lidle had to give up some time on exit. But look at the run that the 56 got out of the corner. He got that power down well.
He's much better at getting out on getting up on the power than the 42. It seems that's really giving him an advantage on these straightaways. Whoa! Frankenfield almost getting side. He's side by side with Matt Gruenberg.
He's got to get the lead up. Here comes Frankenfield to the top spot. He takes it away on lap number 7. And now Matt Gruenberg, the dominant truck so far. Ooh, he's going to drive right up to the rear bumper of the 15.
He's been really aggressive with corner entry, I guess you can call it, with these corners. He's been cutting them pretty much to the apex. This corner especially. He's riding
right on the grass edge. And the track limit is the white line on the inner side there. So really, anything from the curb over is technically out of bounds. I mean, not out of bounds for the series, but if you cut the corner, you will get an iRacing assessed penalty. So Gruenberg definitely pushing limits. And drives him in. His gap has stayed pretty steady back here. 2.5 back from Matt Gruenberg and Frankenfield.
It could be all of the 77's plan. Let these two wear out their tires. He'll reel them back in towards the end of this first run.
I don't know why, but dynamic images are not working on this theme. I've tried to fix them like 3 weeks in a row.
It's funny because it's like they work on the...
They work on the cup side of things. I don't know what it is, but I checked. I tried to get them to work. Couldn't do it. All right. I sense that there's an issue with the theme because it is lagging a little bit, which I have not had that issue recently. So anyway, let's jump back to Marquis Smith and Richard Hinds. They've traded spots. What's that?
I was thinking it's lagging quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's something in the background that was doing that. I don't think that's related to anything else. So 44 minutes left in this 1 hour race, and so far Frankenfield and Gruenberg have swapped spots. 63, real slow on exit.
Yeah, it's just these guys struggling to get the power down or being careful on getting the power down out of that corner in particular. Probably one of the slowest points in the track other than really that corner they're coming up to here.
Back to turn 1 again, starting lap number 8.
So as far as the championship picture, though, Gruenberg's pretty much doing everything he needs to do. He doesn't really need to win this race. He can let Frankenfield win pretty much every race after this, and he'd still be fine as far as the playoff is concerned. So he can honestly just sit and ride in second and be happy with that, and he's got the championship because he's got a massive lead.
Yeah, he does, but at the same time, you know, there's really nothing for him to lose with a lead that big, and you might as well go for a victory. But Jeffrey Fisher has rolled to a stop on the front straightaway and pulls off the racetrack. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the 42, but I wonder if he maybe...
Oh, that's what happened.
Missed a shift here if anyone was right on board. Really? Didn't sound like he missed a shift.
I don't know.
Poof.
That's bizarre.
Well, engine gone on the 42, night over. I can't say I've seen that one before.
Yeah, because you know you typically hear the engine scream its last bellow, I guess, before it dies. But yeah, that just gave up essentially. That was an interesting one.
I don't think I've seen an engine give up quite like that before.
Yeah,
so
it just did not want to run.
There's the first. Well, at least the battle for the lead is very entertaining right now as Gruenberg tries to get back by the 15. Like I was saying before, you had to jump to that issue there. I don't think Matt Gruenberg is willing to settle for a second. I mean, again, he's got nothing to lose. Why wouldn't he go out? I mean, even if he crashes, he'll still have a 15, 20-point lead. I mean, you might as well go for it. You're not going to lose much. You're going to have a lot more fun fighting for it.
Well, it's fun to win championships. So I don't know. It depends on and definitely though he has the pace. To
I think we know what happened here, Finian. According to Jeffrey, we had a little bit of a conundrum on the curbing, which is probably why we had issues. Let's go back to the S's here for Jeffrey Fisher. And right there.
Jesus,
yeah, that'll do it. And I think that was it. Right on board and see how violent it was from inside the car. Oh yeah, landed right on the oil pan there. That'll certainly blow it up. Gotta get a nice slow motion shot of this, don't we? Here we go. Right over the top. Well, that really didn't show what I
Yeah,
wanted to show.
That was horrible timing.
Oh, man. Here's another shot. He really got up on the side, almost rolled it over. Wow. Big jump there. And that's what blew it up for the 42. So an unfortunate end of the night for the 42 car here at Circuit of the Americas, 20 minutes into the 60-minute race.
I'm just about just coming to a third of the way through this, and it's still really tight for the lead, which is nice to see.
Yeah, we walked into this planning on treating this more like kind of podcasty and just kind of hang out, but racing's been good enough to commentate on. So Matt Gruenberg, big lock up down into the braking zone again. He's been fighting the wheel hop issues all night long. We're right on board here as he came into the braking zone. Just listen to the engine as we come down into the brakes. Yeah, a bit of a wheel hop situation there. And Eisenman, he's been lurking, Finney, and I'm telling you, this guy's just waiting in the wings for something to happen.
Yeah, he's maintained that gap between him and the leaders within a second or two difference of each lap. So he's been really consistent with these guys. Hasn't really forced the issue here. I'm curious if he's going to turn out the wick here in just a little bit before the pit stops come underway.
So we got other fun things happening on SimTV this week. Tomorrow night we go Race Kings Cup Series playoff action from the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway tomorrow night, 9:40 p.m., where Gruenberg and Frankenfield will continue their fight. And tomorrow night is an elimination race. We'll eliminate 6 of the 12 drivers before we head on to the final 3 races of the season. And then on Tuesday, Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series action from Richmond Raceway. Wednesday we're off, but Thursday it's the Fuel IndyCar Series. They are at the Charlotte Roval, which a little birdie told us is a possibility for the Grid Life Touring Cup in 2020. And that means that we may or may not be going to the Roval. I hope we go to the Roval. That'd be awesome. Thompson Speedway was also in the discussion. That was actually for a festival. And then I believe there was also some discussion about this very track. I don't know if it'll happen, Finian, from what I've been listening to, but it is a possibility that GLTC may or may not take a trip to COTA next year.
I was going to be perfect for a festival, too, because, I mean, you can see right by the tower there's a huge stadium arena for concerts. So there you go.
There you go. I'm fairly certain it's just a race that's in discussion, because I have to share the weekend with, I believe it would be Trans Am. I'm not exactly sure when they were deciding on it, but it would be towards the end of the season is my understanding. And only if the drivers wanted to go there.
Imagine they had a thing with F1.
That would be cool. Don't think it's going to happen.
No.
But the Grid Life Touring Cup schedule typically comes out around SEMA time. I see Gruenberg again locking up the brakes into the braking zone. But yeah, Grid Life was a spectacular opportunity this year. And the last I heard, the plan, at least as far as we were concerned, was to have us out for at least more races next year. And I do think that, according to our sources, every Grid Life Touring Cup event is going to be broadcasted next year, which would be really exciting. Into the brakes goes Gruenberg and Frankenfield, still half a second between these guys. An all-out dogfight at the front of the field. A bit spread out behind them. I think we'll shut up for a couple minutes and just listen to the sounds of the engines here. We'll ride on board with Matt Gruenberg and Chad Frankenfield at the front. Saw Matt Gruenberg and Frankenfield fighting there for a lap and a half. Some great driving at the front here, Fidine. We were just talking during that sound surge. How much fun it looks like it is out there. I mean, I know that there's semi-large gaps between each driver, but they're having to really wheel it out there. Lots of wheel spin, lots of locking up the brakes and sliding around. It's hot out there right now, and it's showing. It's 130 degrees, which means there's very little rear grip, and it means it's a lot of fun to hoon one of these trucks around.
Yeah, and that's honestly why I think they should bring some stalkers on here, because when I did my practice laps to get the camera set up for tonight, it was really fun to get around some of these corners. Some obviously more fun than others, but all in all, it's a pretty good track, and especially when you have 40 of these guys, you know, going around here, and there's some really good opportunities just to outbrake people and use your fenders on your truck.
Robert Hill Jr. and Cody McCorkle for 8th place right now. And you see how slow they have to tiptoe. Turn 19 is deceptively tight. These drivers are trying to keep it on course as much as they can, and they really have to jump on the binders, get that truck slowed down. Robert Hill Jr. loose out of the 20th and final corner. And McCorkle trying to close back up. McCorkle started 8th. Struggled the first couple laps. Looked like he's finally got something figured out, but last time by it was a 2:28. The leaders run at 2:19, 10 seconds slower, and by Robert Hill Jr.
completely misses the 8th. I think he's trying to go to the parking lot.
There's a lot of them around here. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I would hope there's a lot of parking lots around here, because this is supposed to see.
I was referring to the runoff areas, but.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were talking parking lots.
Well, you can park all the cars that are here in the runoff areas. 2 for 1, right? Robert Hill Jr. was trying to find one, couldn't get the truck in the spot, so decided to get back out on the track and continue racing. Gruenberg and Frankenfield, we're going to say that name. Take a shot every time we say one of those 2 names all night.
Please don't. I don't want to be responsible for someone's in the hospital.
But again, how can you not talk about these 2 guys? They've been so solid all year long in both series. Not only...
hello.
I
was just about to bring up, I was curious when one of these guys come down the pit road approaching that time, and Frankenfield's going to answer the call, so he's down on pit road.
So... halfway point of the race, undercut or overcut. My guess, I would want to do an overcut tonight. I mean, I think that you're going to want fresher tires later in the race. I'd stay out as long as you can.
Well, let's see which one of these plays out. It'll be interesting. It'll only be about a lap difference, but that could mean pretty much everything. It's looking like the fall is about 2.5 seconds. So that's how much Franklin should about expand his lead by, and depending on how much longer Gruenberg stays out, he'll answer that call. I imagine he's probably going to come next time in.
I love this camera so much. Thank you, Finian, for this one. It's so pretty.
Yeah, I wish I could put this on more tracks. The only problem is that a lot of
the fact that you can't control it and it's just all over the place.
Yeah, that a lot of other tracks don't really look that good.
Yeah,
and then also a lot of tracks are not as open because COTA's pretty open. Like there's not a lot of trees or immediate things around it other than grandstands and buildings. So it makes it a lot easier to put a camera like this. But a lot of other American tracks are like in the woods and they have like trees and also the really crappy 2D trees.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't look good.
There was discussion on the iRacing forums a couple months ago about one of the developers. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy, David Tucker, he's currently working on a point-to-point camera. That you can basically assign a camera along a trajectory using waypoints, and the camera will actually track along that spline. I don't think there's any intended release date anytime soon, but that would be incredibly powerful for bringing some insane camera shots.
I'd rather have it in this decade, preferably. Although that isn't, I guess, much longer.
Yeah, you got about another year for that, so maybe it'll happen. I do think that we could use a little bit of help from iRacing on certain aspects of the replay system for broadcasts.
Yeah.
Not only setting up cameras, but just also how the cameras, how you interact with them, especially. Like being able to reassign and add car cameras would be nice, instead of having them be locked to one thing or the other. So McCorkle and Robert Hill Jr., remember they were fighting a couple laps ago. Well, this is slowly starting to develop again, and Robert Hill Jr. is tracking them down. I'm just amazed at the difference in lap time between the leaders. Gruenberg a 2:21 last time through. For the drivers, about 7th on back, a 2:26, 2:27. Incredible difference in lap time.
Yeah, that's pretty damn slow. I think I was getting at least like a low 2:20. Yeah, these guys have fallen off the pace, and again, entirely blame them, especially with a track at 130 degrees Fahrenheit in the Austin sun, and also just the fact that they're also pretty worn out by this point for a lot of them.
Well, a couple of other leaders on pit lane, so where's Chad Frankenfield going to pop out? He's certainly going to grab a pretty commanding lead for now, but will it pay off for Matt Gruenberg to have fresher Goodyears later in the race? We're about to find out.
You see Frankenfield come by there, and here comes Matt Gruenberg approaching turn 1.
So that's a huge gap. It'll be about 7 seconds when it's all said and done, maybe 6. But for a driver like Gruenberg, I mean, those tires are going to be worth their weight in gold in the last couple minutes of this race. So 5.2 second gap. Now, was Frankenfield able to capitalize on the fresh tires when he had them for the extra few laps? We're going to find out.
I mean, I would say so, the gap expanding like that, but, well, you know, again, time will tell. We don't really tell by the end of the race when they will kind of converge one another, because Frankenfield's obviously got to go one extra lap, but it's kind of arguing now, was that one extra lap worth it or not for Gruenberg to stay out? Because at the moment it isn't looking like that, but we'll see if Gruenberg can maximize the amount, maximize his tire life here.
I see, now he finally makes the hairpin perfectly when he's got fresh tires on the car that aren't 1,000 degrees. Richard Hinds in pit lane. Lindsay also comes on down. And most of the field has come to pit lane. There is McCorkle, Robert Hill Jr., Dave Hunt have yet to visit their stalls. Gruenberg to the inside of Dave Hunt will take that position away. Of course, Dave Hunt is 1 lap down. So 4.7 seconds is the distance between Gruenberg and the leader, Frankenfield, now.
Yeah, he's made up 0.8 of a second already before we got back to the stripe. Whoa.
So I guess the fear for me is that Gruenberg will drive off his stuff too much, and he'll burn it up before he gets back to the 15 car, because he will have a huge advantage right now. But if he gets too aggressive with it, he can burn those tires off before he even gets there and totally end up destroying the strategy. Let's go back to McCorkle and Robert Hill Jr., though. 6th and 7th. These two have been around each other all night long.
Hill can get a little bit of a run, McCorkle.
Oh, McCorkle's running out of fuel.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised these guys have not made a pit stop. Because they definitely should have come in by now.
Is he running out of fuel? Sounds like it.
It sounds like it, yeah. The engine wouldn't be doing anything else with that unless he's got... Yeah.
Unless he was throttling it. Doesn't have that much damage.
No, it was like gurgling, so I think it's either damage or fuel, and I think it's definitely fuel because these guys have yet to pit, and I imagine it is pretty tight. On guess.
Okay, there goes Robert Hill Jr. Way off course again.
He's certainly able to accelerate, so...
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but...
Well, let's hear this time by, because he's going to have to gas up quite a bit to get around to the pits.
It's running out of fuel.
Oh, I think it's starting to go.
And pushed it a lap too long.
He's a little bit lucky that this is downhill.
Well, I think Robert Hill Jr. is also... Well, he's still got plenty of power.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about, but he's running the same as the Corporal, so I don't know.
You better come to pit lane. Here they come. Last 2 drivers to pit, other than Jonathan Cogswell. I'm curious how Cogswell's doing. That's interesting.
I mean...
He'll stay out another lap.
That's kind of surprising. I would come in by now. But that's just me.
Up at the front, the distance is 4 seconds, so Gruenberg is closing. Bit of a slide there. Got to keep his tires intact if he wants to be able to chase this 15 car down.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't, you know, obviously you don't want to approach the 15 too quickly because that really just means you burned up your stuff a little bit too fast. Because he needs enough tire to get around that 15
That'd be able to
truck.
hold him off once he passes him. So if he burns up his stuff en route to the 15,
yeah.
then that's all she wrote there.
Yeah, ideally, he wants to get to him with maybe 2 laps to go. Because then otherwise he gets there a little bit too soon, and it'll just mean that he's used up too much tire and he's gonna have less to try to work around 15, and then, like you said, also to defend off of him.
So came into the night with a 30-point lead, and as long as he finishes up here, he'll be intact. What are you looking at? Tell me.
Warp chart.
Oh, okay.
Tate Lytle's really in the 56.
Okay, that's what you talk to me.
The 66, sorry. Tate Lytle's in the 56, he's trailing the 66.
I know you guys can't see it, but Finney was pointing vaguely at the timing and scoring screen.
I went like this.
I know there's only 14 trucks in the field, but there's still enough that I don't know what this means. Lytle's trying to close in, and you see Ausin Darbyshire running way on the inside, trying to break the draft, maybe? What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't really think it's that worth, especially that far. I don't think it's going to be that effective at 1.6 seconds, but nonetheless trying to ward off 56 because he goes pretty wide, and Lytle, look how much time he made up by hitting that apex.
Pretty wide, I think, is a massive understatement there.
Beautiful corner by Tate Lytle and made up a huge amount of time.
For the S's again.
There we go.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
like good. It was just good timing with the shot because sometimes you get the awkward ones where they're like right underneath it.
23 minutes left in this race.
Oh, perfect! It tracked them through the entire section perfectly.
It did a nice job here, Finian. Wow. And open over the crest of the hill. All right, 3.4 between these two now.
Looks like it's actually kind of remaining about the same.
I mean, still gained a second last lap, or almost a second. Riding on board with Gruenberg at the moment. He's led 7 laps. Chad Frankenfield has led the other 16 minus 7 is 9 laps. Is that right? Yes. Okay.
I think so. Unless we're both bad at that.
Nothing. You're just making me question myself, that's all.
I was going to say, if I'm bad at math, it doesn't matter. I'm a science major.
Yeah,
an engineer major.
I'm definitely bad at math. I don't know. It's been an English major. Gender studies.
I wouldn't go that far.
Underwater basket weaving. Lemur anatomy?
That's a oddly specific one.
I mean, do you know about the anatomy of lemurs? No. Someone's got to, right?
I really want to.
Why not? Lemurs are pretty interesting animals.
Yeah, but there's not a lemur for like 1,000 miles from there. More than 1,000 miles.
Okay, they have one literally at the Binghamton Zoo. It's like 3 miles away.
In the wild. That doesn't really count. Zoos don't count. I'm talking like in the wild natural population.
You don't think it's necessary to know a lemur's anatomy when you have them in your... Oh, car off! Well, no, it's the... Wait!
What's that?
I'm sorry for screaming. It's Corey Lindsay. It looked like Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, no, even I thought... when you said, oh no, I was like, wait, is that Frankenfield?
Oh, boy. That was premature... what's the word I'm looking for?
I was thinking celebration, but I don't think it's really... Celebration's not the right word.
Corey Lindsay. Oh, just lost it. Got sideways. Kept it off the wall.
Hey.
Where were we about lemurs? You were saying that it's not necessary to know lemur anatomy because...
Well, no, it's not that.
Because they live in captivity? Or do you think you just get a bear and put it in a cage and you don't need to know anything about it?
It's not relevant for here. Because they're in the zoos, so it's like... They're just there for people to look at.
But you have to know about them, though.
Yeah, in the wild, so like, it's
but
more relevant to
how do you take care of a lemur if you don't know what it eats and things? You have to know the anatomy of a lemur, my dude.
You know the anatomy
I'm
of
just
a
saying, you're just crapping on college degrees left and right.
You just know around its behavior. That's probably it for...
Okay, so lemur behavioral analysis. What? Don't yuck my yum, alright?
Yeah, I'm not going to question what you want to do for your college degree. That's up to you.
Hey, all I'm saying is that there's some underappreciated college degrees out there that I should have done instead of computer engineering.
I don't think so.
I definitely think so.
Computer engineering is honestly one of the best ones to go into now.
Okay, yes, but you have to be a good computer engineer.
You said it, not me.
I'm just saying. I'd be a much better lemur entomologist than I would be a computer engineer. I think.
Oh, I'm just now noticing that level that fast over show.
I wonder if there's some netcode or something.
Talks about lemur analysis.
Okay, it's important, all right? Meanwhile, for the lead, another important fight going on right now is the one between the two leaders. It's Frankenfield and Gruenberg.
Yeah, now he's really started. Wow, actually, he ran a significantly better lap than Frankenfield. Frankenfield, 2:18.5 to Gruenberg 17.1. So about 1.4 seconds faster for Gruenberg. He's actually working through some lap traffic as Levi Zielinski's up there, and also Jonathan Cogswell.
And they're going to get by both of them. Oh, the 54 has to split the gap here.
Yeah, this is going to be, he's going to catch Cogswell pretty, yeah, he's going to be held up by 27 just a little bit.
Managed to sneak around, and we lost a bunch of time there, though. Now he's got to make all that time back up.
I'm sure he's going to be a little bit annoyed that there's only 13 guys out there and somehow managed to find 2 lap down cars in the same place.
And not in a great place either. I mean, the S's is a great section. It's really based off of the, what do they call those corners at Silverstone?
Baggins and Beckett's.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the ones. They modeled those corners after that and made them worse, but they tried. And I'm joking. But it's not a place that you can really make passes, even if you're a much faster car.
Whoa! Gruenberg dirt tracking it through there.
What? No. I don't know about dirt tracking it.
He's sliding.
There's no dirt. Actually, okay, there's dirt. Gravel, if you consider that.
There is dirt. You're only having the rallycross configuration. And also, I'm upset that iRacing never added.
So, yeah. So where was the rallycross configuration again?
In the arena section.
Okay, so right where the little the middle of the screen, the down, up, down.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah. They should have added it. We need more. We need more of that content. But that's why I haven't done a rallycross race in a few months now.
I don't think anybody's done a rallycross race in a few months.
Because there's like only 6 different tracks, or 7, I guess maybe.
I mean, granted they are fun at the truck jump tracks.
Oh yeah, at the purely off-road tracks, yeah.
Yeah, which those should be on their schedule just because.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of hard to, use there.
Isn't that the whole idea? Is that it's hard though?
I mean, yeah, but because it's like those things have 600 horsepower. I think if they had like actual rally cars that had 300 horsepower, it would be a lot more fun.
Okay.
But that's just me. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it's just constant wheel spin.
Like I get why we have rallycross, and I'm not meaning to yuck people's yum like Finian was yucking my yum like a couple minutes ago, but I don't. Nobody watches that stuff in real life. Nobody's gonna drive it in the sim either. It's not like it's gonna magically be super popular though.
I would say you're wrong with the first part of that, but the second part, yes. Like,
okay,
it's pretty popular, but people aren't gonna drive it.
But like, it exists in I'm just talking about America. It exists in America.
Oh,
like,
here, no, it's
but
not.
Like no people. But like that's the primary user base of iRacing though.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably.
Whoa! There goes 54 again, slipped and slide.
I would imagine that probably more Europeans would get into. They had some of their tracks.
I mean,
where the World Rallycross Championship actually runs.
I don't disagree.
In fact, actually, yeah, all of our tracks are American tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that assessment. I'm just saying, I never expected it to be very popular within iRacing, just because it's a pretty niche part of racing in general.
I just wish that when they got it, they had more base content with it. I think if they had more tracks and more track options, I think it would have definitely lived a lot longer. Especially because some of the tracks were just kind of made up and not the best.
And now I think it's hard to justify iRacing spending more money on doing that when no one uses it. It's like obviously people would use it if they had the content, but iRacing's not going to make the content if no one's currently using what they have, right? Like it's a hard thing to sell. That iRacing's gonna go spend X amount of dollars scanning a track that it's a risk that, oh, this is gonna get people reinterested in this. And it may or may not, you know? I don't know. All I know is I want rescan Watkins Glen, but that's we're thinking out of the rallycross configuration there.
Yeah, that would be good stuff.
Wouldn't it be cool? Like through the boot?
Yeah, although Watkins Glen would never actually do that.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. Weren't you saying they probably would?
No, they wouldn't, but I'm asking you why not. I want to hear your answer.
Oh, I don't think they would do it because they won't want to tear up the track.
I mean, yes, but also COTA. COTA will fine you if you drive on their turf.
Yeah. Well, because they have a deal with... And also they need events, too. So COTA needs people coming to COTA.
Fair enough.
So that's why they have their contract with the World Rallycross Championship.
What else do we need here? We need V8 Supercars back. V8 Supercars at Watkins Glen. Why didn't that ever happen?
Because
it would have been way better than COTA West. Would have been so much better.
I think because
V8 Supercars at Watkins Glen Short Course. Tell me that wouldn't be the best thing you've ever seen.
I think because they probably wanted to be at a track in the south. because I don't think a lot of people up north would quite enjoy V8 supercars as much.
Yeah, I guess the Yankees aren't a huge fan of it.
Yeah, and I think also that probably for their safety thing, I guess, I don't know.
Safety?
I don't
What,
know.
are people up north dangerous or something?
No, for the track, like I'm saying COTA because it's an FIA grade 1. That might be why, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I think also too, I think
Does
facility.
V8 supercars really have a...
I think actually, not ignoring the safety one, what I just
Okay, I
said.
was going to say.
I think it's more for the facilities too as well. COTA's much more better equipped
that's a fair
for
assessment.
an international series to come here and will handle quite a few people, which I think they were hoping to get, but they didn't really have much of a market. But battle for the lead now.
Yeah, I would have thought V8s would have been really good with if they like combined with IndyCar or something.
Yeah. I kind of wish that they had an offshoot series, like a sister series that ran here. Essentially, almost like they govern it, but it just runs exclusively here.
I would agree that'd be super fun.
Or they bought out Trans Am and made it converted to that. Something like that. I don't know.
So 13 minutes left, and Matt Gruenberg has finally found his way back to Frankenfield. Now, what's the difference in tire now? I mean, Gruenberg's been sliding around almost as much as the 15, so did he burn his stuff up?
I mean, I don't entirely think so. It looks pretty like he's got this truck underneath him. He's not overshooting the corners as bad as we saw on the first run. As Robert Hill Jr. lets them on by.
The last time it was still a half a second quicker for the 54. Look at the brakes glowing on that yellow and black Silverado.
Yeah, and I'm curious what he's going to do here. If he's going to try to get past the 15 or maybe just kind of force the 15 into a mistake or just kind of ride behind and go at his pace. So that way he doesn't have to burn up stuff trying to attack.
Down through the S's yet again. I think Matt Gruenberg knows that he doesn't have to win this race. Chad Frankenfield does. I mean, he's got to win a bunch. He's got to win basically all of them and have Gruenberg have some bad luck. So I think Chad Frankenfield's going to be extremely defensive and extremely aggressive. He has to be. There's no other way that he's going to perform in the playoffs and beat this 54.
It really is gonna. It is really looking rough for Frankenfield, especially with the car counts too. If they don't start picking up, just in general for Gruenberg to lose a lot of points, because if he gets out of a race and there's only 15, 18 guys, he's not going to lose as many points as Frankenfield would have hoped if we had a 30-car grid, which were what we were getting at the beginning of the year. So, actually, here comes Gruenberg with a run on the 15. Getting a little bit of a turn
Yeah,
straight away.
I don't think he had enough of a run to do anything with it. He'll tuck in line here, maybe attack at the trailing end of this arena section. Very tight and technical area of the course where you can use the bumper if you need to. I don't think the 54 will do that. There's no need to do that.
Just imagine a Watkins Glen style finish at COTA. Just be punting each other out of the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome. we shall request said things.
I don't want to hear from anyone that NASCAR doesn't have the money to bring NASCAR here.
I don't think it's a money deal. I think it's more of a Bruton Smith SMI Texas issue than anything, because they don't want COTA here because it'll pull people from one of the Texas races.
Oh no.
Yeah, as if anyone would miss Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was watching a video on about the fall of North Wilkesboro done by Slapshoots. He's probably honestly one of my favorite NASCAR YouTubers now. He's made some really good videos. He was making one about going over the decline of North Wilkesboro, and he was saying to tweet out to SMI and all the tracks to like potentially bring it back, since NASCAR is not in the best of state.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, you think about it, it wouldn't take that much to revive the track.
No, I think like as much as I love tracks like North Wilkesboro and Nashville and Nazareth and all that sort of thing, I think right now the bigger issue is their on-track product and the tracks they do code to sucks. I think it's the car is a bigger issue than the tracks they run on. Like, yeah, we all hate Texas and Kentucky and all those boring. Dover today was garbage. Kyle Larson won, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I knew Dover was going to be.
Like, those tracks used to be good. And North Wilkesboro would be spectacular, but it might not also, if they ran with the current aero package, it might not be all that good. And Rockingham was an experiment that they tried and didn't really go very well with the trucks. They needed the Cup Series to come there, but imagine if the Cup Series went there with the aero package now, people will be asking to kick it off the schedule. We need to fix the cars first, in my opinion, and I don't think we're treading on a good path to really solve that problem anytime soon.
Yeah, the cars is really a big conundrum as Gruenberg gets a fantastic run to the outside. Here they're going to be side by side, deep on the brakes. Here they go. Is Gruenberg going to try to force the issue here, or he's just going to be patient?
Oh, he might try to cross over, and won't be able to do anything with it now. This has been a great fight between these two drivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, they made this race really interesting between them.
I expected to walk in here and just kind of do the podcasty sort of thing all night long. And
it's been hard to. They actually raced.
I know, they've actually been putting on a pretty good show. And last year this race was really entertaining, but they also had a lot more cars last year.
Yeah.
So I think
I remember the battle for the lead. I don't think was as entertaining.
No, but it was Peter Shore was crushing everybody. But everyone there on back was having a good time. But tonight it's been a pretty much an all-out brawl, and we're certainly not done yet. I couldn't tell you who's going to win this race. Both these drivers have been extremely good tonight. I think Gruenberg's got a little bit of an upper hand, but he has not been very consistent. Even when he's in the lead, he's been making mistakes.
Yeah. Well, this run, he's definitely learned a lot from the first one. He's a lot more consistent with his truck this time around. So I think he's just being patient with the 15. Maybe again, he's hoping that he makes a mistake. I think he wants to be out in front of the lead, so that's less pressure on him to then make a mistake, as we saw on the first run that he had.
Into the braking zones, maybe try a crossover on corner exit, setting him up for maybe a pass in the hairpin. Got to get the S's right first, though. Tracking through nose to tail. Threading the needle between those anti-cut curbs. Gruenberg really using all the racetrack there. Up to the top of the hill and then down towards the hairpin.
Yeah, lap truck of Dave Hunt ahead of them. We'll see if Hunt gets in the way here. Do you think he might by the time we get to the hairpin here?
Ooh, big cut for the 54. I cannot believe that wasn't a cut course penalty there.
You know what I think it is? I think he is getting cut course penalties, but I don't think with these being trucks, they're going so slow it clears by the corner.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
NASCAR's cut courses get really screwy when you're in a slower car than what the track normally handles, like an F1. Because again, this is designed for
that.
Yeah, he was drifting through there too. You see sideways.
I mean, I mean, in any series is a little bit egregious, but
I was joking with you on during the sound surge that we had. He was just cutting the carousel. Actually, we're coming out through there. He's probably going to take the same line through there. He was cutting the carousel where Max Verstappen got a penalty for in the Grand Prix.
Oh my goodness, you got to be right about the penalty thing. There's no way he's not getting them.
Yeah, because I think even in the carousel too, I think you definitely get one there. But again, by the time that you get through those final two corners, we've seen they're very slow through there. And I think he's just taking them.
Right at the second apex here is where he's probably going to duck on down right against the inside. Right there. Oh, that wasn't actually that bad.
It wasn't bad that time, but he's taking it much worse times before.
We're going to pull away briefly, bring you Tate Lytle and Ausin Darbyshire. This is for 4th place.
Yeah, Lytle wasn't. I thought Lytle would have been able to drive away from Darbyshire, but he's kept it pretty close between these two, and they have not separated at all.
This has been a good night for Darbyshire in the 66.
Yeah, he's currently 3rd of the playoff drivers that we have in this race, so he's set for a pretty good finish in 5th. And maybe in 4th if he can get past Lytle.
Lytle looks like he's struggling a little bit, so that should bring the 66 back into the fight. Top guys, though, still nose to tail. Are you going to tell me where the 66 is in points? Is that what you're going to do? Because I was hoping you'd do that for me. 4th.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's actually behind Robert Hill Jr., who he should, I believe, be able to pass.
He's got
he's 2
3 spots, yeah.
Yeah, he's 2 points behind, so yeah, he'll get the spot over Hill Jr.
About 5.5 minutes left in this race. Frankenfield and Gruenberg still nose to tail. I don't know if we've truly established which one is better. I can tell you that Frankenfield has led the most laps in this race. He's led 16. Matt Gruenberg has led 7.
Yeah, that's another key thing, too. Oh, and actually, I just realized something, too, is that Frankenfield, I don't think he led at halfway.
No, so points will go to the 15 of Frankenfield.
No, did I say that wrong? I meant Frankenfield didn't lead at halfway.
Gruenberg led. Or no, Frankenfield did lead.
Did we?
I think, pretty sure. Because they pitted on lap, when did they pit? 11 laps ago, which would have been, 20, no.
Because I think he came in before. It would have been the completion of lap 13.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all sorts out. I do have, by the way, for those watching, I do have live point standings as a feature that is coming soon, which means that we will be able to show you the point standings as the drivers run. within the next couple of weeks, that'll be coming up. And hopefully by the end of the YNZR Graphics Unreal Tour, that should be a feature. I'm hoping to have that as soon as possible. So Gruenberg and Frankenfield still knows the Taylor. You're looking back on the footage. He's got his laptop looking at the stream earlier in the race to find out who was leading. And it was the 54, I believe.
Yeah. I think it was Gruenberg and Frankenfield was back third. So it wasn't that big of a loss for him, but still a few points lost nonetheless.
This has been an incredible fight between these two drivers. Ooh, a little bit of a bumper there from the 54 to the 15.
And it begins.
It begins. 4 minutes left. That's about 2 laps left to go here in COTA.
Yeah, it should be exactly 2 laps left to go, and I think they're going to start kicking up in the gear here. I think
here we go.
Starting.
And I think all bets are off now. Every bit of racetrack, you bet these drivers will be on it here. Gruenberg slow out of turn 1, going to try to build up a run towards that hairpin. That's where he's been struggling all night. That might be where he has to make a pass on the 15.
I really hope they just start missing every single corner.
That would be amazing. Frankenfield threads his way through the S's yet again. It's the 25th time they've done it tonight. And Gruenberg trying to get it just that much better. Throttling back up. These drivers are screaming for more grip in those rear tires. Look at Gruenberg right on the inside. Is using every inch of the racetrack.
Gruenberg left.
Oh no! He course. And that gives it up right there. That's all it took.
Oh no! He finally got bit for it. So maybe he wasn't getting penalties before.
He got really lucky, but this that's what did it right there. That was enough of a cut track to give the 54 a enormous penalty, and that will essentially take away the chance for what would have been an amazing finish. I hate that because that was going to be really good. So, yeah, that'll give you a cut course. Well, that made it easy.
Yep. That's unfortunate.
Now, what does Gruenberg do? Is he going to... Oh, he's driving like a bat out of hell now.
Yeah, I think he's just pushing because, he can't really get to the 15 unless he doesn't.
Well, I'm going to run on board at the 54 because I bet you we're going to see some really interesting lines being taken here. Frankenfield's 5 seconds up the road. Problem is, with tires this old, I don't think you're really going to get a whole lot for pushing. He actually just lost time through that sector.
There's no physical way possible unless he morphs into an F1 car.
I've seen crazier things happen. Like Danica finished in the top 10 once.
Ouch. I think everyone's going to agree with you, but still.
Well, it's true. I also saw Natalie Decker finish a race once.
Also painfully true. White flag for Chad Frankenfield. And here comes...
What was that? What did you say?
White flag for Chad Frankenfield.
There's a battle. This is for 4th.
Yeah,
Lytle and Ausin Darbyshire here. Not done yet.
Here's how aggressive Darbyshire is going to be. He is in the playoff, so you can try to move Lytle out of the way, although he would be expecting a penalty, so he's going to be a little careful on how he approaches this.
Ooh, bit of a push there. That was definitely contact.
We got Jonathan Cogswell up ahead in the 27, and here comes Lytle to the inside late on the 27 as Cogswell moves out of the way.
Darbyshire even wider.
Oh, he missed the turn by a ton there.
And bye-bye DRS sign. All right, let's jump back up to Gruenberg. Is he going crazy, or is he just going to tuck in the line? I think he's... that was... He's still trying it.
Yeah, it's kind of curious. I would have thought he was taking it the same. I didn't really expect anything of that cut, the one that he took.
Yeah, I think that the cut course is tucked along the inside edge towards the end of the corner. So typically, if you can go all the way to the inside if you get off the inside before the corner ends. I've cheated a couple times like that. This is still a great fight for 4th, though.
Yeah,
this is
Darbyshire is getting back, so Lytle's definitely got the slower of their trucks right now, and he's wide in the corner. Darbyshire has a look, though.
Here he comes. Can he do anything with it? Ooh, look at the run. The 66
cheeky.
puts the bumper to him.
That's cheeky. You gotta be careful. Oh, and there he goes with the dive up the inside. Gotta watch out that he doesn't get a slow down.
Whoa,
wow,
contact!
What
And the
a
56 up and over the curbs. And now Ausin Darbyshire comes back on the course. Are we done yet?
That was a beautiful pass by Darbyshire. Here comes Lytle back on him.
Oh, to the outside, into the braking zone. Maybe try a crossover on corner exit. The 66 misses the corner.
Oh.
Here comes Lytle back to the inside.
See, this is what I was hoping.
Drag race down the back straight.
This is what I was hoping Frankenfield and Gruenberg would be going at it. but at least these two are going at it. Might not be for the lead, but still entertaining battle. They're side by side on the straightaway. This is awesome.
Happening all behind Chad Frankenfield, who's going to roll out of the final corner in just a moment to take the victory. 4 seconds up the road. We're going to keep the cameras here, though. Chad Frankenfield wins at Circuit of the Americas. And for 4th place, Tate Lytle and Ausin Darbyshire continue their battle.
Darbyshire looking the outside here. He comes with the switchback. Can't really go anywhere. He's
contact, more contact.
This is going to get interesting here. Where do you go? How much do you pinch?
Side by side, and this is going to be the advantage 56. Can Darbyshire keep the nose in there? Not quite.
Oh, he slipped on the AstroTurf trying to get it up to speed.
And now Darbyshire's got 2 corners left. Is he going to run way off the track? I think there's a slowdown out there now, out of turn 19. I think they added one. But, drives in deep. He's going to miss the corner. And way wide he goes. And he'll get back on course. He'll probably get a slowdown assessed here. But Tate Lytle will win the fight for 4th. Final corner for Tate Lytle. And he gets there. Darbyshire has to give up some time right at the end, but he finishes in P5.
That's unfortunate. I would absolutely ram the 56 there.
Hinds and Marquis Smith. This is also a battle. This is way back.
That's why I would have made some contact with the 56 if it was really bad. I would have just given the spot back because these guys are way behind.
Yeah, Richard Hinds is a second up the road for Marquis Smith. Smith was a touch quicker last time. And will Richard Hinds make a mistake that will bring that 63 truck into... slip and a slide.
Making a little bit of a mistake there. He's charging, but yeah, as you said earlier, it's definitely true. You don't really want to entirely go balls to the walls because you're just going to be messing up every single corner. And he's losing a lot of time by doing this.
Yeah, it really was a struggle through that sector for him. Still not done, though, yet. These guys were almost 2 minutes behind leader Chad Frankenfield. I think that's pretty much all she wrote. These are the last 2 drivers on the lead lap.
Ooh, Hinds a little bit wide, though.
These final 2 corners. Richard Hinds. A 6th place result for him if he could just finish without any drama. Just a corner a little bit. Here comes Marquis Smith. Not going to be close enough. Final corner for Richard Hinds and Marquis Smith. And the last 2 drivers on the lead lap will come on through. Here's a look at your race results after a very entertaining, surprisingly entertaining race at Circuit of the Americas. Unfortunately for Gruenberg, never got to contest the lead with Frankenfield on that white flag lap.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gruenberg, was 1 corner cut too much.
All right, we're going to be back in just a moment. We're going to talk to your top 3. Stay with us. Be right back. Welcome back live to SimTV here now with a 3rd place finisher, Drew Eisenman in the number 77. Drew, not quite enough pace to do battle with those front 2, but still a solid top 3 result here. How was that track? It looked pretty hot and slippery.
It was a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of the Roval cross thing that we did earlier with the trucks. It was a lot of wheel hopping going into corners if you got on the brakes and got a little aggressive with your shifting. A lot of wheel spin coming out of the corners. I think that's ultimately what killed me. Is I think the guys in front of me just saved tires better, especially on that first run, because I was super quick for the first few laps, and then they started pulling away, and then it felt like my tires fell off a cliff, and there was no catching Chad and Matt after that. And then again after the pit stop, I was a little quicker than them, and then they started pulling away as tire wear set in. So, but super fun, super slick, really a lot of counter steering, fun time.
So road courses with the trucks, it always seems to be kind of a conflicting ideology. Some drivers love it because you get to kind of wheel around these big beasts, and some drivers hate it. What makes it so fun for you? Is it just the fact that you get to drift these things around and slide them around and push them to their limit, or is there something else that makes it a lot of fun?
Yeah, I think it's that. I think what I enjoy the most about, especially this race, is you could really steer the car with the throttle. Like that. I mean, I always really enjoy when you can kind of feel the rear tires start to lose traction, and you can use that to turn the car. Like through 16, 17, and 18, you'd get a really big understeer through your front end, and you could just, kind of manipulate that throttle to get that rear end to kick around. But I'm sure that's what killed my tires too. So what do I know?
Well, quite a bit, because you finished top 3 tonight, Drew. Congratulations on another solid finish here to road course. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for chatting, and we'll see you around.
All right, thank you, Kyle.
Absolutely. Next up is going to be second place finisher Matt Gruenberg, points leader coming into the night, and we'll walk away with a points lead as well. But Matt, closing in those last couple laps, thought you might have had something for the 15, but a slip up and a mistake. Talk to us about that finish.
Yeah, I was just pushing. I was pushing the track limits all race, and then once it was getting down to the end there, I was pushing just a little bit too much apparently. And I guess if you go over that white line there in that turn, you get a 1.3 second slowdown penalty. I think it's a little outrageous, just considering I just barely went over it. But all in all, it was a fun race. I just wish that I could have got my first road course win in this league. That'd have been pretty cool. But we'll try again next year, I guess.
Well, awful close to it tonight. Out of curiosity, do you know what your incident count was? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think I had 48.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I was pushing the track limits all race, 1x. You gotta do what you can to be fast at these tracks, and I was just trying to make up as much time as I could in all the areas that I can. I just tried a little too hard late in that race. But a good win for Chad. He ran a good race, and he did a great job defending. He didn't make any mistakes to where I could get by him. And, it was a good win for him. But we'll move on to next week.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. And talk now to our race winner, Chad Frankenfield, number 15. Chad, closing laps there. I had the 54 breathing down your neck. Just walk us through the strategy call earlier in the race to undercut the 54, then those last couple laps trying to hang on.
Well, I thought maybe if I pit early, I could get a decent enough gap and just maintain that gap. But I guess I didn't really account for, the tire wear from lap, 1 on. So kind of really misjudged it. So he had that extra lap on his tire, or he had an extra lap fresher tires, and really it was a huge deal. Really though, I was quicker. I felt like I was able to get out of a lot of the corners pretty well, which made it really hard for him to pass, because the 2 key break-in zones were turn 1, and then that that left-hander at the end of this long straightaway, the back straightaway. I was able to get a good run out of each corner to really prevent him from really being able to make a move. But really, it was just maybe just more so just focusing on what was happening in front of me instead of my mirror, really.
Of course, 60 minutes, you led the most laps tonight, so certainly it looked like a dominant race tonight, Chad. Out of curiosity, what was your incident count we're comparing with Gruenberg?
I think it was like 23, or I think it was, I'm not sure what it was before I did the donuts.
We have it pulled up now, 24 compared to the 48 by the 54. So
I didn't really know where the corner cuts were, and I just didn't want to push it. And I personally, I think the incident count's kind of faulty as far as, if NASCAR was here in real life, they'd be abusing it even worse than what we were doing it tonight. So, I also thought maybe it's sometimes depending on where you hit the curbs, it wasn't always the best thing to do. So I was really just trying to do the best I could to keep it on the track.
Well, another race win for the 15 car this season. Chad, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on another victory. We'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Finian, COTA done. Not a huge car count tonight, but still a very entertaining race, especially towards the front. Your thoughts after our trip to Austin, Texas this year.
Yeah, that was a pretty entertaining race, all things considered, despite only 14 guys taking the green flag. That battle between Lytle and Darbyshire all race, and the battle between Frankenfield and Gruenberg was very entertaining. Also, speaking of Ausin Darbyshire, guess how many incidents he had?
75.
You're close. Oh.
Are you going to tell me, or are you just going to
Guess.
keep guessing?
Yeah, keep guessing.
80.
One more.
81?
Yeah,
81 incidents for the 66. Hey, they're having fun out there. That's all that matters. All right, next thing's up on Sim TV tomorrow night, 9:40 p.m. That's the Race Kings Cup Series playoff elimination race from Martinsville, the half-mile paperclip in Virginia. Then on Tuesday, the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series. They continue their trek towards their playoffs. It'll be at Richmond on Tuesday. Off on Wednesday. Thursday, we're back with We are back with Fuel IndyCar from the Charlotte Roval. On Thursday. I'm gonna cut this stream off before I make myself look like an idiot. Thursday night, Fuel IndyCar. Then Saturday, Outsiders Racing League continues from Atlanta. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9:40. Have a good night.